Imagine if we were all in the same ward or stake. We would be
hated.
I think we should. No, I think we should. I'm big. Like, I want to go back to like the old days where we start gathering to Zion again, and we pick some location, and all of us go, and we all are in the same ward together, and we just freaking revolutionize the church because you get all the most faithful people together, and you're just like, we're gonna do awesome stuff. We're gonna build freaking Zion because this is the way God wants to do it, and we build a Zion city on a hill, and everybody wants to be there in our 21st century hellhole society that we exist in. And we're just this beacon of light on the hill where we're doing awesome rock shows in the church and baptizing families.
Chicken wings and soda bars.
Yeah.
And our youth are going skydiving.
I'm spending money like I just got paid. $100 bills, tell them keep the change. Come on.
What are they going to do? Release you? What are they going to do? Come on, man.
Eric.
Pop a bottle, about to make it rain. Let me give you something now to celebrate. Come on.
Eliza R. Snow started the Relief Society budget without the prophet even knowing
And
it.
if you're wondering why I move the way I do, I just feel so good.
All of your cycles sync up and you're all on the same week. Like, can you imagine?
Our church was a lot cooler when it was run by a bunch of 30-year-old polygamists.
Well, they're kind of like vigilant. They were kind of creative.
And the ladies were savages.
Vigilantes.
The ladies were savages, dude.
Oh, absolutely. No, our women were. Yeah.
The following is an episode of Ward Radio and does not represent the thoughts or the opinions of KHTS, its owners, or any of its affiliates, nor does it represent the official opinion of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. With that said, sit back, relax, and enjoy the program.
Well, it's like when they remember they started with just few wards and stakes doing the 2-hour church, and it was like a experiment.
Yeah, like a beta test.
Yeah, and now everyone has 2-hour church. So I could see it happening like that.
I think a lot of it can be done. If you have this thing still recording, I think a lot of it can be done within the parameters of an existing structure. There's nothing that says that you can't start a women, like there's activity groups. We have activity like coordinators in the church. This all can fall, in my opinion, under that structure. You could have people run the activities, and all they're doing is altering the structure of the activity sort of group. And they're saying, we're going to get a bunch of people under the activities coordinator for the stake. And we're going to really expand that department of the stake with a bunch of little mini people who run these different interest groups.
What I was trying to say, guys, is that the 2-hour church is another example. That didn't come from Russell M. Nelson. It didn't. It came from somebody somewhere who had the guts to say, I'm going to pilot this. I'm going to try this. So did the missionary discussions. So did our manuals, by the way, in the 1970s.
But they had to get approval to do 2-hour church. There's no way that some rogue bishop was like, we're just going to meet for 2 hours from now on.
But not from the first presidency. You didn't have to. I mean, so many of these things. We're going to nest our youth with other youth. We're all these innovations that have happened in the church. They haven't every one of them come from the prophet himself. There's been these people throughout history. Eliza R. Snow started the Relief Society budget without the prophet even knowing it. They had the equivalent of millions of dollars when the church was underground, being persecuted for polygamy. Eliza R. Snow was swimming in cash. Nice. And then Wilford Woodruff is like, hey, wait, do you have, where'd all this money come from? And she said, none of your business. I mean, there have been people throughout church history. Oh, yeah. And he said, hey, we need some of that money back. And she said, it's our money, bruh.
Our church,
you don't get a cent of it.
Our church was a lot cooler when it was run by a bunch of 30-year-old polygamists.
Well, they're kind of like vigilant. They were kind of creative.
And the ladies were savages.
Vigilantes.
The ladies were savages, dude.
Oh, absolutely. No, our women were. Yeah. But there's people throughout church history who have done this, and it hasn't always come from the prophet. There's innovations that have been brave, risky people throughout the church who have tried and innovated and succeeded, and it's become church-wide programs.
Yeah, so
I don't think we realize that enough.
I just want to know what Brittany thinks of that statement. Like, do you long for the days of when the church was run by, quote, 30-year-old polygamists, as Jacob Hansen has suggested here? Do you long for those days when the women were savages?
A lot more flexible.
I hate polygamy.
Oh no, but I'm saying, do you long for the days?
I wouldn't want it either. It's plenty enough for me. I used to think polygamy was something that maybe had some appeal until I got married, and I was like, "Holy cow, you have more than one of these, and you have to deal with all of them."
And you know what's crazy? So like, and I mean, you guys probably already know, but like when a bunch of women are together for a long period of time, it's like college, all of your cycles sync up, and you're all on the same week. Like, can you imagine being married to 5 women all on their period? Like, that would be hell.
Terrible. But Jacob's got a point. Jacob's got a point. Young, dynamic, creative, and sometimes crazy people used to run a lot of these programs. Why do we have so many awesome programs that these lawyers want to protect? Because young people experimented and created them.
But we've divested from all of them. We've completely divested from regional activities. We used to have we used to fill the Rose Bowl in Southern California. Every other year, there would be a regional get-together. Yeah. And you would like sometimes see people who are like, oh my gosh, that guy's a professor at my local community college. And you wouldn't realize he just lived 2 stakes away, only a 10-minute drive. There's another Mormon whose house I can walk to. Like, you know, in our little enclave, okay, there's 2 stakes, all right? But let me tell you, you don't know people in the other stake. They could live 4 blocks from you. And you don't know who they are. But at these regional activities, you'd see them. You're like, oh my gosh, I see that guy on the bike trail all the time. Hey, I see you. Don't you run Central Park on Thursdays? Like while I'm playing soccer, I see you there. Oh yeah, dude, I'm actually part of this really cool indoor team as well. We practice or something. What, there's an indoor league? Yeah, dude, you should come and check it out. You know, like the friendships you make because of spontaneous interactions at these regional activities was amazing. We've totally divested from regional activities. We've divested from almost all cultural celebrations, including the pageants, and we only do them if a new temple opens up, okay? And even then, there's only one for when the temple opens up once because it's only new once, you know. We've completely divested from the Boy Scouts. We've divested from all the secondary and tertiary activities associated with the Boy Scouts, such as the Eagle Scout projects, the Boy Scout basketball league, the turkey shoots, the mountain man rendezvous, and so on and so forth. All of those are gone.
I hate that the new program is we ask the youth, what do you want to do? How about you plan your activities? And we're just on the sidelines. It's not working.
See, but that's, Brittany, to a certain extent, I think that is almost the genius of it in the sense of like, okay, let's come up with our own program here. And to some extent, when they were coming out with some of these programs before COVID hit and they were training us on it, there was a vibe of like, we want for you guys to kind of work with the youth to figure out what goals they want to set and reach and all that kind of stuff. In other words, there was at least the beginnings of the idea that we want to see their interests. What are they interested in? What my whole point is that what we lack though is organization. Yeah. Right? I think that the going after people's interests isn't the problem. I think that's actually a great way to do it. The problem is what we need to do is we need to get together all the people who have a similar interest, because then you can actually make something happen and you get community. I just can't stress it enough. Everybody talks about this. Everybody does. In the church, out of the church, it doesn't matter. People say we all are more disconnected than ever from one another because we all do all of our online interactions. Just us 4 right here. We all have developed a relationship, friendships, and it's because we all have a shared passion. And we get together and we engage in a activity that we're passionate about. And we, at the same time, we all share the same values. When you have those 2 ingredients, a shared passion and shared values, you get connection.
So, and when Jacob, you have your foot on the accelerator. You're right. And I don't think anybody disagrees.
See, but that's the thing.
But there's an e-brake that's on. And the e-brake is those lawyers. I think Cardin is correct. There's a lawyer, there's a lawyer who's going to say no. And I think the message needs to be, Stop asking for permission from people who don't have priesthood stewardship keys over you.
Well, and
Whoever
then just
the
become
regional or state
liable for the
authority is.
accident. So when the high adventure group goes river rafting and one of the people drowns, you want to be held liable personally and lose your house to the
Are you
to the
telling me we
lawsuit.
can't come up with a freaking waiver that people have to sign before they go on the activity?
Yes, I am telling you that the church office building and the culture there and the employees there are unwilling to take risk. Yes. I believe
you've got You've got $100 billion. Suck it up and pay a few fines and let us have some
there's
fun.
two churches.
Okay?
Hold on.
These lawyers need to earn their pay. They make a ton of money. Let them defend us in court. Go earn your pay. We're going to have fun.
Yeah, but see, you're part of the second church within a church. There are two churches that are functioning right now. There are two churches of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. There's the pre-internet boomer octogenarian / septuagenarian / people in their 40s, 50s, and 60s that all of their formative years and getting their children born and into this world and the youth of their kids happened before the internet. And that church is doing really well. It's paying its tithing. It established its community before the internet could destroy it and digitize everything. And all of their spiritual views and habits, all of that was formed pre-internet. That church is paying its tithing. That church is doing its genealogy. That church is going to the temple. That church still is having kids and grandkids that are kind of birthing the same amount of missionaries. We're having more girl missionaries. That's the truth. Is the reason why our numbers on the missionary front are still increasing, and we're having the biggest class of missionaries we've ever had, is because now there's a culture of more female service than there was before. But if you look at the male numbers, we've plateaued and flatlined at around 25,000, even though our church population as a whole is growing, which means we're actually diminishing percentage-wise the amount of male missionaries we're putting out. So the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, for people born before 1980, is thriving just like it thrived in 1975. But all of the rest of us, elder millennials and onward, that are seeking out this new sense of community, that want these programs, the church just says no, bro. Like, they just say no to all of it.
See, but I don't think that we have to go up the chain for this. I think all of, and maybe not all of it. Maybe there are some things that, won't be able to happen. But I think 80% of what I'm talking about, there is nothing stopping your stake right now from creating a yoga group that Brittany and the other women that are into yoga.
But for that yoga group to thrive, it would have to be you even said this yourself in the original podcast, for that yoga group to thrive and these special interest-based groups to thrive, it would be the term is interest-based programs. Interest-based programs. So the IBP. For these IBPs, okay, IBPs to thrive, all right, it would have to be to the detriment of other generalized services and meetings that we have. And to actually start implementing this full tilt, you would have to break the rules of the church and go rogue. So not
necessarily to do one yoga night a month for Latter-day Saint women. That's not going to break something. And frankly, maybe what happens is that the stake will all of a sudden start to realize, wait a minute, we're really struggling to get women to go to our Relief Society activities. But man, we have the biggest yoga group. There's a ton of non-members there. They do a spiritual thought every time beforehand. We just had a baptism last month of a lady that went to it.
I've tried this and they've said no. They tried to have a young women's, a young mother's play date thing every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 a.m. because nobody's in our chapel, and they would just run into the gym, and the kids, because they were around, who cares if a kid spits up, because you just wipe it off of the gym floor. You know what I'm saying? It's in the cultural hall, right? Nope, that got shut down. Totally shut down.
I'm not saying
I don't know, man.
But my thing is this: there are going to be leaders out there that are willing to implement a women's yoga program.
Yes,
there are going to be leaders somewhere out there in the church who are willing to start a young men's adventure group, right? And
why wouldn't you allow a young women's yoga program? Come on,
because you're a nutcase. Because there are people in this world who literally they just want to like do what the book says, never try and actually build Zion.
That's righteousness, bro.
Exactly how to live their
life.
That's
No, that's righteousness. That's righteousness, dog.
This is what Jesus had the biggest problem with. Actually, if you read the Gospels,
exactly.
He hated people who worshipped the book. Stop worshiping the book.
Yeah.
You could easily, under our current activities, like stake activities program, you could put together adventure groups, sports groups, a gamer club, an LDS book club, a fly fishing group, a jujitsu group. You could do all of these things. And all you have to do is say, activities coordinator, here's what I want you to do. I don't want you going out and coming up with activities. What I want you to do is go find people that are into things and are willing to organize one activity a quarter for people that are really into that thing. So go out there and find that guy who's sitting in the back of church who doesn't get involved and say, what are you into? I want to take you to lunch.
Cool.
We're going to go sit down. I'm going to find out what you're into. Oh, you're super into jujitsu? Well, guess what? I want you to teach a jujitsu class once a month to anybody who wants to go.
Yeah, I want all my elders spitting bone chips after this meeting. Dude, you know what I'm saying?
You'd have a bunch of guys getting together. They would become friends. They would start rolling together. They would be talking to each other at church about their, Joey had a match last week. It was super cool. Let's go down and watch him. You would create Zion if you get people that they have righteous interests, righteous passions in good, wholesome activities, and you can find people that are passionate about it. And I think genuinely, like I said, maybe not the full vision of this, they're going to run into lawyer things, but I think you can start small and begin to just think about the idea. How do we create interest-based programs
and
instead of forcing things on people that have totally divergent interests?
Okay, and how about this one? Ward Radio in conjunction with Jacob Hansen at Thoughtful Faith and Jonah Barnes with all of his genealogy books. We will show up to the first stake president that has the stones to reach out on wardradio.com and say, I'm going to do this.
What are they going to do? Release you? What are they going to do? Come on, man.
Erica once said to me, she said, yeah, somebody once told me that they were doing a calling and they said, well, what are they going to do? Fire me? Like, what's the worst they can do? And then she was kind of like, and then she, like, this leader put on really good activities because she was kind of like, what are they going to do? Fire me?
I have
fire me.
I have literally gotten up before in a new calling and just said, semi-joking, but said, I literally cannot wait to get fired from my job. I am actively going to try and get released from my job. I will do such a crazy job of this. People don't know whether I am insane or whether I am spiritually gifted. You know what I'm saying? Like,
buckle up. That's what I think about. That's like, if you were going to say anything about the people that met Joseph Smith for the first time, it was like, buckle up. Like, it's about to get real. But my thing is, I think that there's a structure within it. I think if people start small, and what I want to do on my channel is I want to make a video that I kind of want to outline this in a video that is a video type that someone can just kind of see it, but then kind of be like, hey, this is an idea I have. I don't have any keys, whatever. But if you think that this is something good and you're a key holder that's watching this, like, think about it. Maybe you want to try this in your stake, and maybe, we within the existing framework of the church we do activities as a church as part of the handbook. We're supposed to. I think we can really, by utilizing the principle of interest-based activities, I think we can revolutionize the activity wing of the church at the ward and stake level, and specifically the stake level, because interest-based activities don't work at the ward level because there aren't enough people. If you have a young men's group,
there's not enough people. Yeah.
It's just not a ward implementable activity. So this is something at the stake level.
So I'm going to change the thumbnail to the first podcast calling this is how stake presidents could revolutionize the church.
I like it.
Because it takes a stake presidency. It takes a stake presidency with the spine and the stones to frickin' subversively build the kingdom, to actually get us out of this managed
I want to push back though. I don't think it has to be subversive. That's the thing. You're not. Yes. You are not going to. Hey, you are not going to get. Hold on. You are not going to get stake presidents on board with being subversive in the church. Okay. What you are going to do though is tell them that this fits within the existing framework, because it does.
I get you're going to have to sell it.
It says that you can't start a yoga group for the women in the church.
I get that you're going to have to sell it as something it isn't. I get that you got to sell yourself as the bad boy.
I'm not part of the subversive group here. I'm saying literally within the church's guidelines that currently exist, you can start a yoga group. You could start a band night for the guys who are really into it. You could start a choir in the stake that actually participates in community events. There's nothing in the manual that says that you can't do that.
You tell me how it goes when you talk to the 65-year-old stake president lawyer, all right?
I'll ask him, show me in the manual.
Okay.
Show me in the manual.
You tell me how it goes when you say, hey, I want to get a bunch of the young bucks to start playing AC/DC in a classic rock special interest group. Hey, and we're going to have a jam session. If you would shut that shite down. Okay.
Like, dude, what are you picking on AC/DC? Can you imagine them putting on a rock concert in the cultural hall at the church with laser lights and smoke? Dude, you would have everybody there.
But the culture of the current governing generation that is addicted to niceness culture and pleasantries and still behaves like the Christian right in the 80s, I see I see you only having success with an extreme minority of those leaders. 10 years from now.
I agree. But what I say is, again, start small. Every stake, I guarantee you, every stake has something that they can get going, and we should start there. And when it's successful, we should, then we have the evidence to say, hey, you know that yoga program, how we just baptized those 2 ladies that used to go to the yoga class and now their children are here and they have this beautiful family. What if we did another program like Young Women's Adventure Group? Because the women are always complaining that the young men get to do all the adventures. Well, what if we put together one for the women?
Yeah.
Right? Dude, and they just go on two campouts a year.
Imagine if we were all in the same ward or stake. We would be
hated.
I think we should. No, I think we should. I think I'm big. Like, I want to go back to like the old days where we start gathering to Zion again, and we pick some location, and all of us go, and we all are in the same ward together, and we just freaking revolutionize the church, because you get all the most faithful people together, and you're just like, we're gonna do awesome stuff. We're gonna build freaking Zion because this is the way God wants to do it, and we build a Zion city on a hill, and everybody wants to be there in our 21st century hellhole society that we exist in. And we're just this beacon of light on the hill where we're doing awesome rock shows in the church and baptizing families.
Chicken wings and soda bars.
And our youth are going skydiving. Like, it's amazing.
Okay.
Well, we got a lot of people in Missouri who keep inviting us out there, man. We should do it. Let's start a commune. That's the title of this podcast, is We're Moving to Independence.
Yeah. So for this and more, please check us out at wardradio.com.
I just feel so good. Oh, I just feel so good.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. Before you go, please make sure that you like the video, share it with your friends, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please let this be the video in which we earn your subscription, and that you press the alert button so you're alerted to all of our fun live streams and standalone videos and community posts. Also, if you'd like to help us out, please consider joining the channel. Members get all kinds of cool perks and benefits. They get early access to a lot of our videos and special emoticons and emojis during our live streams and preferential treatment there. It's a lot of fun. Speaking of a lot of fun, we have a super cool Discord. If you'd like to join our Discord, check us out on wardradio.com. There's a link to the Discord there. Also, you can sign up there for our newsletter. Our newsletter is a lot of fun, and you can put your email address in there. And if you'd like to contribute to the program, please consider looking us up on Venmo or on the Cash App. We're on both of those platforms. Also, if you just want to keep watching more content, right about here and probably right about here are going to be some more videos. Please check those out. And as always, for this and more, please make sure that you look us up and check us out at wardradio.com.